Hey guys, Keely Reason here, owner of Love with Adventure, where I talk about the marriage relationship, intimacy, and marriage, and how you can go deeper with your spouse. Today I'm answering a reader question from a husband who says that they just had their fourth kid and that they are ready to start having sex again. But the issue is that every time his wife has sex, she's really wired and awake for like an hour or two thereafter. This is creating some problems because, babies are going to get up in the middle of the night and they've got four kids under the age of 6. So having sex other times of the day has been a big challenge. So they typically wait until the night. So one, is it normal? Two, what do we do? One, yes, it is normal. So men do tend to be more tired after having sex. Women, this is not across the board, but a lot more women do seem to be energized by having sex and have a hard time going to sleep. I think that, this is not a ton of education around it, right? Because we don't have very many channels in which this really is talked about. But women do tend to get like able to do a lot more things after sex. They get this big burst of energy. So if that's the case, what do we do? This is something that the two of you are going to have to figure out and work out as far as schedules go. So if your wife is going to have a big burst of energy after having sex, is there a way for you to plan to wait to have sex after the baby, like closer to the time your baby normally wakes up? So if your baby's at all scheduled and you put them down at this time and they tend to wake up at this time, having sex somewhere close to that when she's still in her wired I'm awake window and able to, transition into taking care of the baby during that first wake up period. That might be something to consider. Two, what can you do on your part? How can you make sure she gets a nap the next day? How can you be a part of getting up with the baby and taking some of that responsibility or helping her with, dealing with that? If like the scheduling is not working where you have sex and she's still awake at the time the baby is ready to get up, what can you do to help with offloading some of that exhaustion? So this is going to have to be basically based on how you and your wife handle things at home. But there's going to need to be more shared responsibilities. So does that mean, can you watch the kids when you get home from work or something like that for her to go take a nap? Is this something that would be more reasonable to do, say, on Friday nights when you don't go to work early in the morning, if that's your routine? I don't know. And then she stays and sleeps in and you're up with the kids. Where can you pick up more responsibility to give her a break? So two things happening here. One, you got four kids, so more will have to be like done on your part anyways. You're gonna have to be more available to do things. By the time the fourth kid comes around and a woman's getting older and just exhaustion, more things have to be picked up by the other people in the house, including the children. Where can you be a leader in teaching your kids to pick up after themselves, help with the dishes, help clear the table? And I know you said they're all under the age of 6, but by the time they're 4 years old, they can most certainly be able to get things off the table, help clean up, you know, definitely by 6 they can be loading dishwashers. So like, what things need to change in your household just in general, for your kids to pick up more responsibility, for you to pick up more burden? What things in y'all's life do you need to rearrange? This is a difficult age, right? This is a difficult time raising the kids. Everybody's tired. What do we need to let go of in life in order to survive this time? Keep that connection going, keep the intimacy going, keep, these things rolling. Maybe it means changing some expectations about what the house looks like, what level of disaster you're willing to put up with, how dinners get taken care of, how food is taken care of. Maybe this is a season where you guys need to pare way back activities, going out, whatever. So this question is so loaded because I think to some degree the answer, it sounds like the answer would be, coming from the sex talk lady over here, something related to sex. But really, so much of sex, so much of the satisfaction that comes from sex, the time, the enjoyment, all of those things is really happens because of everything else you do in your life. How did you design your life? Did you design your life to be full of stress? If yes, it's gonna make sex hard. Did you design your life to be packed full of things, one right after another? If yes, sex is gonna be difficult. Now, listen, financially, with everything going on, with, prices of things changing, maybe you're in a position where you're just like, I am stuck in this level of exhaustion because I must put in all this extra time to work and we don't have any ability for me to pull back. And we're not doing extra things because those things cost money. What do we do? We're in this like cycle. Okay, well, who can you ask to help? Do you have family nearby? Do you have friends nearby? Do you have, anyone that can help pitch in with the kids as far as giving you and your wife a break? Can you send them to grandparents' house? And then all you've got is the baby to deal with. I know that most people aren't sending babies away for the night. What can you all do to get some additional help to get through this season? The good thing about these seasons is that they will end. The bad thing is that they are going to drag on slowly. You can love this life, but you can also feel very worn and tired by the blessings that you have. So one, give yourself grace on that. Two, adjust your expectations. You might not be able to have sex as frequently as you like because one, you're both tired. Your wife's like, I can't stay up for 2 or 3 hours. But if she knows that's going to be the case and she's okay with it and she wants to take a nap leading up to that and then spend an hour or two just being productive in the house alone while the kids are asleep, maybe you guys can work that out and make that kind of thing happen. As far as how do you keep yourself from being wired after sex? Literally, I don't know the answer to that. Biologically, I don't know if there is an answer to that. She can try and take melatonin. She can try and take a sleeping pill. I don't necessarily recommend that because I know that a lot of sleeping aids are addictive. But ultimately, adjusting the schedule so that she can get the extra sleep she needs and still feel the freedom to be a grown-up. Because let's just be honest here, when having sex is like the most grown-up thing she can do, and if all day long all she's just dealing with babies and kids and throw up and household chores and responsibilities and I don't know, work or whatever, when you both get to have sex together, that's a very adult thing that she gets to do. So making time for that, making space for that is really important and can definitely help overburdened moms get through this if they have enough support. So where can you support her in the rest of the day? How can you change the schedule? Can she take extra naps? Can she, go to sleep? You handle bedtime. She wakes up. Y'all have sex. She does whatever she's going to do for a few hours, gets up with the baby, whatever those things look like. I hope I answered this good enough to get you started on some ideas of how to address this, because literally I can't create schedule for you. I can't begin to know how your life is or how your household functions or your relationship or anything. But that's my recommendations for you. And if you are somebody who's been in this position and you have anything you want to weigh in on, please put that in the comments. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I'll chat with you later.